So we have one of my favorite maps on the menu here. We have Nomad, which is in the map pool for this season of League of Empires, the season 2. Cunning Linguists are up 1-0 here and are going to do their best. They'll have to remind me in chat whose home map this was. We see already Oxen spotting the enemy TC here, and as is customary on Nomad, is to be courteous and not villager fight earlier on, although a hit on this villager could be devastating for I make better potatoes if one villager building the TC gets lost. Now to talk a little bit about the civs and placements here, first of all we have Malians for Oxen here. Great choice for Nomad. Dock can be put up right away, and then the house, and you'd still be at in a position to start producing fish. At least I thought so. Yeah, there we go. It's been queued up. So what I usually do when I play Nomad, I place the house first and then the dock, preferably next to a shorefish, so the house builder could also take the shorefish near the dock. And of course you get the fishing ships out immediately if you build the house first, but that's just a few seconds, doesn't matter too much. You're still going to be very early to those first fishing ships. And yeah, TC going up here near a woodland, gold pretty close by. That's a good starting spot for Oxen. Also just far enough away from the water here to be subject to early aggression of the water fighting here. And what is bad news though is that 3000 hours is right around the corner from Oxen here. Italians have cheaper fishing ships as well, so they have an easy time massing the fish for food eco as well. I'm not too sure if they know each other's locations though. Oxen certainly doesn't know from its scouting. And 3000 hours is luckily unaware also for the time being. But they're going to run into each other soon enough, and with no immediate stone access, is actually going to be a fight for this stone, I think, if they go into the early feudal age towers against each other here. We see Oxen with a 1 villager lead over 3000 hours though. That's that extra fishing ship paying off. Now let's have a look at Mapo here, also with the Malians. Off to a little bit better start here, might have gotten the TC up earlier. Is investing into wood here so he could keep fishing ships consistent. It's also something about when you drop the second house. If you delay the second house, as for example Malians, until maybe you're at say close to 8 population, if you have enough on wood you should be able to get that second fishing ship out before you need to drop that second house for not to get pop capped at 10. Yeah, Oxen is right in the middle of the well, actually Oxen and hold on, whose point of view am I on? Oxen is right in the middle of 3 enemies here. We have 3000 hours here, and then Oxen here, both with access to wood and gold, thankfully. Then we have potatoes over here and Maple right next to him. And okay, that's an unfortunate one for potatoes with the Franks here. I get the idea by securing stone early on like this, because Franks, then that would facilitate your towers, your castles, your everything. But when you don't have the TC right next to a wood line, you'd have so much longer to walk until you can get a lumber camp up, and you'd not be able to add fish for a while. And I think potatoes is not a seasoned Nomad player here, as they haven't docked at all, which you always should do on Nomad because of all the fish lying around here. So much deep fish, 225 in each spot. You have to fish on Nomad. And we see for Farthing here as well. Goes with the Huns for this one. And I'm sorry to say it, but Huns is literally the worst civ you could pick for Nomad. Because they're lacking 100 wood to start. Essentially means that you cannot place a dock to begin with. And I think you can afford the TC, but you can't afford much else. And also, again, the placement here right next to a stone and next to berries. I mean, maybe the TC went up early here. You have some food access, but having such a long walk to the woodland is just going to put you so far behind, as we see in the numbers here, with Farthing at 30 villagers, whereas Mapo is already at 22 and probably going to the feudal age soon. So hunts, rule of thumb, never go voluntarily for hunts on Nomad. So let's see here. We are at Nomad, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit for the action to come. Going to pay a little bit of attention to the scouting. No dock for Farthing either. Here it comes though. So maybe he got the tip from his teammate to dock, or maybe just realized that there's much fish to be taken here, so might as well just dock. Also lacking wood as Hans obviously plays in here. We have a little bit of flaring going on here. Let's look at 3000 hours here. Has a dock up in the south here now. Has an easy way to contest Oxen here in the naval fights as Feudal Age kicks in, depending on who's up first, of course. 3000 hours with 21 villagers. Oxen with a whooping 28 here. Malians certainly having the edge here, and surprisingly enough is going up after the Italians here. So what we're also not seeing too much of here is that when you find sheep on the Nomad, you could use them for scouting and gain some intel on the map as to where the stones and goats and everything are. But having the TCs closed like this, Maple dropping a barracks right on top of Potato's TC here, that's a bit of a bad communication, I'd say, but Valiant's barracks on spot here might be looking to go straight fast castle here with this 34 pop, could be strong actually. No build-through whatsoever just yet. Randy Panda with some idols over here, and with whooping 3 docks here. I think Randy Panda wants to make use of the Byzantines faster firing fire galleys here, isn't it? Or is that a unique tech? Let's have a look. Fire ships attack 25% faster. I think that would be within Randy Panda's line of thinking, or alternatively just extending to get as much out of the fish as possible here. Feudal Age right around the corner with 33 population total to back it. That's some good economy going into Feudal Age. So for Nomad, there has a different start depending on where the players start. No TC next to the woodland. That's rule number 1 for Nomad. Just always get your TC up against the woodland, because we want that easy wood access for your first fishing ship to come up as quickly and smoothly as possible. Triple dock production from Randy Panda. He's not messing around. He wants to contest water of the enemy here, and there's lots of fish to be taken of 3000 hours down here. Even Maple may be in trouble with the second dock going up now for the Malians player, but triple dock production already a fact for Randy Panda. Let's hope he sends them to the right direction, which is exactly what they have communicated with their teammates, where the location of the docks are. There's the dock, flaring the dock. That's probably a teammate flaring this for Randy Panda. No market up yet, so no cartography to see the scouting of the teammates either. Stable is up for Mapo here. I think he's going fast castle knights or camels play here or something. Sash or Potatoes here still stuck in the Dark Age with 28 villagers now. Is really hurting from the fact that they haven't been fishing until recently. Farm Eco will certainly help Franks for the long run though. Oxen is out with a Malian scout here, looking for some easy kills on Potatoes economy here, and the score less than stellar for Potatoes. Going to lose at least 1 villager here now, and going to be lowest of all here. Defensive tower on the gold for Oxen here, limiting a little bit of aggression of the Italians opponent here, whereas the Italians player has some house walls and barracks here, neglecting entrance from Oxen scouts to their side. Here are with the fire galley forward from Mapo from the other side here, going to contest Oxen's situation. Where are the fire galleys of Randy Panda? They're moving forward. I, of course, like the idea of taking out docks, but with 8 galleys like this, just aim for the fish as well. Try and kill off as many fish as possible. Split them up if you can, and help to take out this fire galley that is harassing Oxen's fish eco here. This is honestly unnecessary losses for Oxen here, considering that there are Byzantine fire galleys right by to contest this one with ease. But score looking good for Cunning Linguists here. It's only Mapo with the score dominance here overall, or at least for his team. And let's look at Randy Panda's scouting again. Doesn't really know the location of Mapo, but should also be thinking that there might be some enemy docks up here, considering this was the direction the enemy fire galleys were coming from. So lots of army now. They have taken out the fish and the dock of 3000 hours, and probably wanting to take out this one as well. Maybe just leave 2 or 3 fire galleys here to deal with this dock because there aren't any units here, and send the remaining ones over to address the fish of Mapo as well, because that is a significant part of Mapo's food income. Although farms are also making up a fair bit here now. Maybe afraid of losing water, Mapo is already adapting here. Also, the only player in Cast Age now getting knights on the field could be dangerous, especially for Oxen down here, as we're seeing right now. Farthing 64, by the way, is 964 1v1 rating and with 1116 total. He's all on his own up north here, still in the feudal age with Hans, but as the game goes on, could be providing some nice mobile support from up here, or simply just extend the economy to boom towards the stones and golds here and take map control for his team over here. So Mapo has escaped the fish. That's 12 idols on water now for Mapo. That's going to be hurtful for the food income overall. Oxen committing a little bit of scouts to try and find the remaining player now. They don't really know Farthing's location, who just reached the castle age. Gate foundation almost up in time for Oxen, but unfortunately not in time, as the gate stays unbuilt and knights are once again inside Oxen space. Knights from Mapo. Oxen is also stuck in the feudal age here. I don't know what happened to the fish. Probably lost quite a few of the fish to Mapo's fire galleys forward. Randy Panda now in the process of taking out Mapo's dock here. One thing to think about with the fire galleys like this though, when they are placed as tightly as this, here you're just begging for the opponent to make a demolition ship and run it into your mass and damage at least half of your units here. So to the best of your ability, when you're going to take out docks like this, spread out the ships as best as you can, preferably with one tile or more in between. And you'd still be dealing damage, but if a demo comes out, you're risking damage to only 1 or 2 ships. But this is water dominance. There's no reason for Mapo to try and contest it anymore, because it's 9 faster firing Byzantine fire galleys here, no problem. I mean, water is won by Cunning Linguist at this rate. And with Oxen's point of view again, the food eco seems to be suffering here, farms being idled continuously by the knights forward, a stable even goes down. Here comes a market to help adjust a little bit of the gold economy here into maybe a castle age tick finally. Is also the second building needed to click up. It looks like Oxen wants to go for some expansion here, try to go for some neutral resources instead. We have a scout over here from Oxen as well, finding Farthing's location, just chilling out here, and might actually go down to this TC if Farthing even recognizes it. We have some fish off Oxen to the south. We're probably flared now because of being idle. Not so many fish nearby to be taken here. Oxen with great scouting on land here, probably shared by the teammates by now with markets. And yeah, sheep all over the place, and fish to provide some line of sight here and there. Randy Panda now also on the way to the castle age. And what will the follow-up be here? Another dock going up. I mean, it makes sense for further fish income. This is a great spot for dock for all of these deep fish here. But I think Randy is more needed on land at this point. And here come the stables on land to provide either cheap Byzantine camels. Oh, good point. Farthing is on your team. I'm getting tired here after almost 6 hours. So we have all 3 of elite Teutonic Spite in the southern area here. So admittedly, aside from Oxen's position here in the middle of everyone, a lot of the map control belongs to Cunning Linguist here, with Farthing in the north and Randy Panda in the west, now extending with more town centers and economy here. Villager numbers pretty similar actually, because Mapo has so much econ land here with 3 Malian TCs working for him here now. Firegal is doing some work here. No need to invest more into water for Randy Panda. I think this is considered an over-investment here, honestly, given the course of events. Something you can do when deciding how much to invest into fuel and water is to use one of your fishing ships to scout the shoreline, see where the enemy docks are, see how much they are investing into fish, and finally just try and adapt to that. I think 8 to 10 fire galleys would be more than enough, given the Byzantine's faster firing rate as well. Mapo on the move now to raid Randy Panda over here. Randy Panda reacting with garrisoning the TC, and could be adding some camels after a while as well. Knights, decent, okay. Let's look at the upgrades here. +1/+1 for Randy Panda, +1/+2 for the Malians. So more knights and stronger knights for the Malians player here. I believe Byzantines don't get bloodlines either, so their knights will be weaker overall. Camels is the play here. Byzantines get cheaper camels, and you could easily counter Malians knights with your own camels, especially once you're able to get that +2/+2 in. Good scout, protecting the friendly TC here. Mapo chooses to back out though. That is could be because of the town center fire and the difficulty of reaching villagers and economy here. But still, these kinds of numbers, absolutely worthwhile to take the fight with better upgrades and having 20 more HP. There's not really any reason for Mapo to back out here unless he wants to try and deal some damage elsewhere. Oh, but a sneaky forward castle from Mapo. Does Randy Panda see this? Does see this, but how does he stop it? One quick wall behind here, and these villagers will finish this castle anyway. It's a Malian's castle, not a Byzantine's castle, so if Randy Panda is in the position to drop a defensive castle, the Byzantine's castle with the superior HP would win this fight. We have some red knights over here now, so Randy Panda getting some great value of the knight's investment after all. Going to look at some serious villager kills here. 40 villagers now for potatoes and diminishing. But the castle goes up for the Malians player, even allowing for a Geppetto investment here. And 3000 hours is on the way to the castle age finally now, after losing everything on water, probably losing all the fish eco on water. And stone walls won't really apply here with fire galleys to take them out. So the Malian player desperately needs some more camels here now, has superior upgrades on the knights still, as far as I know though. But yeah, still a +2 missing for the Byzantines here. So again, a rule of thumb for cavalry play, especially knights, is that you always, or melee units in general actually, is that you go for the defensive armor first. You want to get +1 and +2 armor before you engage with knights against archers especially. Maybe in melee fights it could be different, but in general I always get the armor first. Unless I feel like I could afford forging going up to castle age or something. But in general I don't stress that attack upgrade. Defense is much more important in most cases. Ooh, castle drop from 3000 hours here on Oxen. Oxen being the bait for the whole game here, but he has migrated to the north, so he's taking some map control over here. He's going to boom in this area instead. Maybe extend with more TCs here as the game moves on. Doesn't really matter if he loses the TC here. Actually migrates with all of the villagers now. And if this is recognized by 3000 hours here, he could flag that for potatoes here, and they could hunt down all of these villagers. That's going to be quite a few villagers lost for Oxen here, potentially, with some Byzantine Knights joining the fight, but note the HP difference here. Teal Knights, 120, Purple Knights, 120, Byzantine Knights, only 100. Surprised that Oxen is ahead after losing entire first base. Yeah, that's true. But it's the fish investment though is helping out a lot with the food economy for Oxen here. And yeah, overall doesn't look too bad. None on wood, but that could easily be remedied over here. And losing all these villagers, of course, is a big deal. Now down to 32 villagers. But in between the two teammates here is perfectly safe. Farthing actually on the way to the Imperial Age here now. Just been booming away peacefully up here, going to the Imperial Age with 82 population total. And let's see the stats here. Has quite a few resources in the bank, has enough for another castle as well, and will be producing this from these quickly producing Hans stables as the Imperial Age kicks in. Farthing with 50 military has some numbers. My farms! 3000 hours steals a couple of farms here of Oxen, even with the TC still standing. That's one of the bolder moves I've seen for a while here. Well, there's not many villagers left, but Oxen could garrison here and at least get 2 villager kills easily here. Yeah, I'm already dead, so I deleted the others. Yeah, I get it. Makes sense. Ah, there we go. But where's the army of Orange? Here we go, yeah. There are the Knights, Imperial Age on the way. These could be Cavalier very soon, looking at Farthing's eco here. Now, with these kinds of resources in the bank, keep in mind that you could invest into more town centers, wood and stone, for map control. You could have a castle on the hill near this stone and cover some wood. You could spam a lot more knights. He stole 2 farms and I had about 8 there. Deleted the others. Ah, I see. Unfortunately for Farthing here, we'll be losing the knights here before they can become Cavalier. Military numbers down to 11 now, but I think he may be considering resupplying from home soon here. Malian Mapo here, in many ways MVP for his team, but Randy Panda with the superior population here. Castle up and Rams taking down this Malian's castle. Not able to be contested by villagers fighting here since there's army over here to address that. So these farms, these rams could easily extend. We have Imperial Age on the way for Randy Panda as well. Castle going up here between the stones and the golds for 3000 hours. It's a good map control taken there. They have their own little space near the southeast side of the map now. Some expansion potential over here as well. Maybe another castle and control these golds and stones. That's the thing about Nomad. So many golds and stones everywhere, so that you can you don't easily run out of golds and stones on this map. I'm looking at the military situation though, and it is a lead for Cunning Linguist here. 30 military for Mapo, so if for example Randy Panda goes into Heavy Camel in the Imperial Age here with the Byzantines, they would have an easier time against the Malians armies here with Mapo still in the Cast Age. Genoese crossbowmen from the Italian Spear is going to be an issue though. They will slaughter cavalry. They are one of the best counters in the game against mounted units. But Elite Teutonic Spite still desperately needs more army on the field as the numbers are increasing. I'm looking at the eco tabs here as well. Lots of economy not really being used by potatoes and 3000 hours here. That's the one of the key things to try and remember when you're not at 200 population. Just spend your resources, whether it be for production buildings, town centers, or economic drop-off points, or simply more army. Seeing here that Cunning Linguist is doing a better job at keeping army numbers here, and for that matter, producing a little bit. Oxen is producing crossbows here, and will maybe not see Imperial Age for a while yet, having taken early losses, but Malians with significant army numbers here though can still put up a fight against the small groups of units here, and Sash also holding on together with Mapo here to try and keep the at least the Byzantine army low here. More expansion for Oxen in the middle here as well, has 2 TCs now at least, so that villager numbers is going to get back up on track soon enough. We have Cavalier from the Hunts player ready to raid this very exposed eco of Sash here, who is only on 2 TCs from what I can tell. Let's have a look at their overall eco. So much food and gold in the bank, not really spending it. Could even go Imperial by now. I make better potatoes than Sash. Might be missing the buildings, but then you could just buy, say, 100 stone and get a castle up, and you'd have your building needed to go to the next stage. This is still a great fight for Maple, though, simply given the larger numbers here. And let's look at the upgrades on the Cavaliers. They are fully upgraded, but they are losing to superior castle age numbers of Cavals and Knights here. Randy Panda booming away like crazy here now, extending the economy, more castles going up as well. Imperial Age is in, so a Treb push could be of could be an option here. I don't know where the Rams went. They probably went down somewhere, but they're not here anymore anyway. But population lead by far for Randy Panda here, having a good game again here. 1, 2. See the TC situation. Is it only 2? No, it's 3. There's 1 up here as well on the gold, so some nice map control there. Farthing also expanding here with the TC on the gold. So you see trade up and running for Elite Teutonic Spite here. Where is that route going? They have markets. Okay, that has to be a really short route. I can't really find the markets. There's one down here. That's going to... That's Oxen's market. Well, you could still trade with that as well, actually. But there's a market here. And... yeah, I really can't find the other one here. I think it's trading just down here, actually. Malian army at large in the middle here now, going to take down Oxen's army numbers again. Oxen being the main bait of this game, but in return buying time for his teammates to boom. It is 50 more population for Randy Panda over Mapo here, and the military numbers roughly similar. And given that Elite Teutonic Spite still isn't back on water, their actual map control potential is limited. Heavy camels in for Byzantines as well, whereas Mapo is just about to reach that next age. Let's look at their eco tab here as well. Mapo with very healthy eco roll, 19 on gold, is seems to be producing a lot here. Is struggling a little bit for that gold income. Could be trade cards at work here actually, and that's probably not the most efficient trade route ever. What Cunning Linguist could consider doing as well for that trade income is investing to trade on water, because you have a long, safe trade route on either side here for trade cogs on water, and you do not be as reliant on map control land. But this map is not going to run out of gold anytime soon, so Cunning Linguist could still rely on mining the gold all around here. Just look at the gold counts here. None of the teams especially struggling for gold. I think it's more about gold mining speed rather and commitment rather than actual gold access on the map. So we have Cavalier and Farimba on the way from Alliance. So look at the Cavaliers now, if you can find it in. Knights will now have +7 attack. We felt we were safe for map control. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. The cunning linguist is controlling more than half of the map here, including the water. Is more like almost 70% of the map here. So it's all about just closing out this game with siege pushes and getting those army numbers up to crucial numbers here for cunning linguist. Already with an army lead here, and now Farthing going into the Huns paladins here with lots of stables here. Yeah, Nomad trading isn't such a big deal, but at some point it could come in handy. But in regular games, like for example on Arabia, if you're going to the late game and you're at kind of a stalemate, it is trade deciding the game in the end. The gold income wins the game. If you could get your own trade running and secure it and raid the enemy trade, then you're gonna win the game. Because trade provides for endless gold income for team games, and if you could keep spamming paladins, you just have such a much stronger raiding unit, and Arbalest for that matter. You'll have the enemy trash units won't stand a chance because paladins negate skirmishers and Arbalest negate halberdiers of the enemy. And with constant gold income, that's where it stops for you. Alright, fighting back Oxen here yet again from Mapo and 3000 hours here. Trying to extend a little bit, but now Farthing is with a whooping 79 military here. Hunt's free boom pays off. It's a mix of halberdiers and paladins here. One cog is the equivalent of 1.5 bills. Yeah, they bring in quite a lot per trip. Depends on the length of the trade route, of course. Ooh, cataphracts! Awesome. Archers hard counter cataphracts though, but they will be helping out in the match. They're not easily taken down, and maybe the archer mass isn't large enough here to justify taking out the cataphracts. I'm really wondering why I Make Better Potatoes hasn't clicked up yet though. It's only about getting these buildings down. Monastery, University, going there. So much resources in the bank. If you feel you can't really contribute with your current setup, just sling your resources on to your teammates so Mapo and 3000 hours can get their armies running, Imperial armies running, and try to get back into the game. But given the current map control and the mass armies of the Huns player on this side untouched for the whole of the game here, if it's 100% on the map, it's the equivalent of 1.5 will, 125 wills. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know those kinds of stats. Alright, Hunt's Paladins to the forward here. Just a little bit of Paladins units here, but with these fully upgraded Halberdiers, well, not full, but full attack for the Halberdiers here, that defensive castle should never go up. Just patrol in here for Farthing, and the Paladins will attack the villagers in sequence here to make sure that this castle goes up. Even if the castle goes up, the paladins could take it down on their own here. There's just such a huge mass of units. Alright, castle goes up. Paladins just go for the castle there because why not? Farthing probably has eco in the bank to replenish units here. Look at this food and gold. Look at the overall food and gold eco of Cunning Linguist here. It's just so much stronger from this kind of map control than it is for Elite Teutonic Spite here. Castle will go down to paladins and halves here. Heavy camels will, even with Farimba, will not have the numbers necessary here. We have halberdiers in the mix as well, which will easily deal with the mounted units. 3000 hours at 57 villagers, 67 populations, and we have two of the players, almost Oxen as well, reaching upon pop capped here. This is most certainly Cunning Linguist's game. And I think we're approaching the end here with these cavalry paladins running into even Mapo's eco now. Oxen, even as Arbalest in the mix now, would help out against any... yeah, maybe against the Genoese crossbowmen here from 1000 hours. But looking at the scores here, there should be no way back whatsoever for Elite Teutonic Spite here. They are with a total of 160 villagers here and falling in military population as well. 72, 49, 70 versus 11, 4, and 1. This has to be the GG and the second now. Paladins from this side, Arbalist on this side, and Trebs and heavy camels pushing here. Even elite cataphracts. You don't get to see those very often. Little bit of migration here from baked better potatoes. So here's the GG called, and congratulations for a 2-0 for Cunning Linguist here. GG well played is called, and no hard feelings here it seems. Let's have a look at stats. Ah, Elite Teutonic Spite beat you in one game last season. Alright, so good to have some revenge then, that's good. Here we go with the stats. 231 to 88 for Farthing. That long the boom just really paid off with that largest army in the end. Really completely unpunished boom in the north. And here we go with Randy Panda with the massivest eco here. Technology should be interesting to follow as well. Uptimes, Mapo first to the Castle Age. Got some good rains in. And your plan was gang up on Mapo. Yeah, I see that in multiple matches that the players tend to team up on the stronger enemy, so to speak. 150 villagers for Randy Panda in the end. Does contest Mapo's 124, but control of water certainly paid off as well for Cunning Linguist, especially for Oxen as well, with the relocation to have the fish boom to support the food income. And the statistics here overall, Randy Panda seems to be the MVP of this one with strong business play here, somewhat early himp. And yeah, we deleted a lot of those builds because they over. Yeah, I feel you. So